Background: my entire family is poor and lives paycheck to paycheck. I earned a scholarship to college and then started a career, so I am the only member of our family that is not living in poverty. My husband and I are solidly middle class. For the past decade or so, we have been hosting family get-togethers about once a month, inviting my whole family, 3 siblings and spouses plus my parents, and paying for everything: food, drink, etc. Current situation: my husband was laid off about a year ago and has been unemployed or underemployed ever since. He is currently working at about 50% of his old salary. Things are financially difficult. We are just covering our bills with our combined income, and if anything extra comes up, we have to take it out of savings. One area that we are trying to save money with is hosting this family get-together. We haven't stopped completely. We hosted Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, and some birthdays, but we have stopped hosting lesser holidays, skipped Super Bowl Sunday and Memorial Day. Today is Independence Day. We normally have a get-together, but we told everyone we would just be spending a quiet holiday alone with our children. Yesterday, my mom called upset that we weren't hosting anything. I told her we were just going to spend the day swimming. We belong to a swim club. Immediately she got excited and wanted to come, along with my youngest sister who lives at home. I eventually agreed but said it would only be for a few hours. Later in the day, all of my siblings started calling me and asking when they could come over to use the pool and what were we doing for dinner. Now, I have to pay to get them into the swim club, and I have no interest in paying for them all to eat and drink all day long. So after talking it over with my husband, we decided to call them all and tell them that we could not host a meal, but if they each wanted to bring a dish to share and anything they wanted to drink, we would host a potluck meal so we could all eat together. Well, they didn't like that. One said that they don't get paid until Friday and had no food in the house, so it was like us telling them that they couldn't come. One said that it wasn't fair. They want to see the family. Making them bring food takes the money they would use to buy groceries and is like taking food out of their family's mouth. We didn't give in. I wasn't planning to host. If they want to come, then they can contribute. But from their perspective, I have money that they don't, and it's selfish to ask them to bring anything. Update: so it worked out okay. Not everyone came. I did end up paying for those who did at the swim club. But one sibling and his family brought a lot of food, meats, bread, side, and condiments, which basically doubled what we had to offer. They were kind about it. They had some food in their freezer they brought and had picked up a little bit more on their way over. Another family member brought a small side, some soda, and a dessert. There was enough to eat for everyone, and we split up all the leftovers so everyone had some food to take home. It ended up being a nice day. Not the idiot. It sounds like they just wanted to mooch off of you. Asking them to bring a dish isn't a big deal, and down south, where I'm from, it's courteous to bring a dish to family gatherings, as long as you check with the host/s so nobody doubles up on anything. If you're having money trouble and can't afford to host huge family gatherings, it is not rude to ask to do a potluck instead. Not the idiot. You're well within your rights to refuse to host a bunch of moochers. Next time someone asks when the next get-together is, tell them nope, it's someone else's turn without guilt. I had to do this with my mother's group when I hosted 3 get-togethers in a year and no one else had hosted this, and the leader asked about the next one. If they want it to happen, they'll have to figure it out. Not the idiot. If you can't afford to do it, you can't afford to do it. Making the party's potluck is a great solution. Asking people to bring something to share is perfectly reasonable and generally costs about the same as if they had just eaten at home by themselves. Their response shows how entitled they are. I've had my dog since before we were together. We got together in high school and now decided to live together as we attend university in the same state. I chose to take my dogs with me because they were always my dogs. I took care of them, fed them, trained them. Moreover, they feel mine. They love me more than anyone in my family, follow me even to the bathroom. They are super well behaved, but also I have to admit they are very possessive of me, wanting to hug all the time, as in lay against me while they sleep. 2 of them are super small, 1 is medium sized, all mutts. My BF wasn't excited to live with them, but he wasn't against it either. But now he is. 4 months into our living together, he told me an ultimatum: either I send the dogs to my parents' shelter, new owner, or he leaves. As arguments, He presented that they have to sleep in our bedroom. They do. But they don't sleep on the bed, they have their own small dog beds, so he can't focus while relaxing with me. They are always near me, that they lick me and I kiss their foreheads, both of which he finds disgusting, and that our flat is too small anyway to have 3 dogs in it. When I said he had no problem before we moved in, he claimed he thought I will come to my senses already, and besides, you wouldn't move in if I told you to leave your dogs, and I love you too much to live away from you. I was heartbroken, but when he said he will leave if I don't get rid of the dogs, I packed my stuff and moved to my friend's flat. She was looking for a roommate anyway, thankfully, and accepted the dogs. I thought we were over, cried my heart out for a week, and now after 2 weeks he called me and said he made a mistake, but that he was hurt I love dogs more than him. My whole family is on his side. Even my friends said I overreacted and that they would be mad too if I broke up with them over a dog. Not the idiot. And it's your relationship, you don't have to justify it to anybody. With you being such a dog lover, and him apparently not a dog lover at all, this relationship seems kind of mismatched anyway. In the long run, I think you'll find it's for the best, and you should never be guilted into a relationship. It should be mutual and enthusiastic, not a power play. Good luck. And have fun with your puppies. Not the idiot. What he did was try to manipulate you into ridding the dogs. He even admits he pretended to be fine with it so that eventually you'd get rid of them. That's messed up and an idiot move. Loving your dogs you've raised so long over a person who comparatively you haven't known as long isn't an idiot move. Not the idiot, it's not like you surprised him with the fact you had dogs. It's a responsibility and an honor that I'm glad to see you taking seriously, even in a really devastating situation. Also, he calls to say he's made a mistake. This guy is all over the place. I think you and your dogs can do better. Best of luck, glad you guys found a new place to live. I'm getting a major surgery done in about 3 weeks, and I was told there's a 60 to 80% chance it will kill me. It's 60% if I do all the things the surgeon told me to do to prepare for the surgery, take supplements, gain weight fast, lots of protein, and I'm following all the rules. So let's say my chances of dying are 60%. That's not great, but not too horrible. The thing is that I've had this exact surgery before and I came out just fine, so my family has no reason to think this time will be any different, aside from the risk involved with any surgery. However, for reasons involving my medical condition, this time the surgery is riskier. My family consists of my older brother, 28, who I, 27, live with, and my mom, 54, who lives on the other side of the country. My brother is very protective of me and my mom still acts like I'm her little boy. The only reasons I could think of to tell them would be, give them time to prepare for the possibility of my death. But I don't think this is something they can prepare for. I'm sure they'd just be miserable for the time leading up to the surgery. I don't want that. Give us all a chance to make happy memories before the surgery. Again, I don't think that can happen when we'd only be doing it because I might die soon. It would feel forced and desperate, and they would only be pretending to not be miserable, and I'd be unhappy because I would know they're miserable. I'm leaning towards ignorance is bliss for everyone involved. If I survive, no harm is done and all that potential misery would be for nothing. If I die, well, that's a risk of any surgery, and their final moments with me wouldn't have had that misery. And with my medical condition, it's unlikely I'd make it to retirement age anyway. My heart hurts for you. Of course, no idiots here. I would hope that nobody here would challenge your wishes, especially that you have thought through the just-in-case scenario. Is there nobody close who you would trust enough to be there to see you into surgery, that you can fall under the anesthetic knowing that this person is on the other side of the wall and with you at the moment? It's hard to imagine you being all alone with this burden. Not the idiot through another comment did mention how you might hurt your family by not allowing them a chance for any final words. You could remedy this by meeting with them earlier the day of the surgery itself, and letting them know that there is a bigger risk this time. That way they don't suffer in the days before, but still, have a chance to say some final words. No idiots here. I see that you had said you wanted it to be more hopeful before you go into surgery. Is there a chance that if you decided to tell them, they'd be able to still be hopeful and supportive? 100% your choice, of course, but if you have a bit of time before the surgery and decide you want to tell them, letting them know I really didn't want to have you guys be too down before the surgery, but let's go do fun things and try not to think much about the risks because it would help me go through it, just a suggestion. Lots of luck to you, I'm rooting for that 40% chance. I come from a fairly well-off family, and my husband and I do well, although we both work high-demand jobs for it. We've always been very generous to his side of the family. Gifts are very much both my husband and my love language, and in my culture, Chinese, elaborate gifts to in-laws are very socially acceptable as a way to show they are held in high esteem. It also helps with some of our guilt for being super busy and not always around. Additionally, my side of the family exchanges generous gifts. One concern of mine originally was to treat my husband's family the same as my family, i.e. by not spending way more on my family than his. Last Christmas, we had some weirdness over presents opening. I had purchased a lovely cashmere throw for Sil, husband's brother's wife. She googled the brand and price then and there, which kind of annoyed me, and later I overheard her make some joke about how she could pay half a mortgage payment. Several hours later during brunch, someone asked her what was wrong. She seemed upset, and she confessed that our presents always make her feel bad. She's tired of us throwing our money in her and her husband's face, and Christmas has become really stressful with pressure over gift giving. Husband and I apologized profusely and did some self-reflection afterward on the unintentional effects of elaborate gift giving and decided to go more low-key in the future. Although a little part of it has always sat poorly with me since. This past Saturday, I attended a baby shower for the same Sil. It's the first gift-giving occasion since Christmas and I really wanted to do it carefully. I asked a coworker who recently had a baby what range is typically appropriate. She said she mostly got gifts between $30 to $50, and so I decided on 3 little things from the registry totaling just over $30. Anyways, at the shower, it becomes clear that while certainly, most gifts were in the $30 to $50 range, all attendees who were family members seemed to give more like $100 gifts. Near the end of the event, Mill pulled me aside and said that Sil felt like I was being spiteful to her for Christmas. I again apologized and as a cover, said that my husband and I had written a check for the little one's college fund as well but didn't feel it was appropriate to hand it to her during the present opening. Then I scurried off to the bathroom and wrote a check for $100. When I found Sil by herself for a second I handed her the check and explained that we wanted to give her this earlier but the present opening seemed like a bad time. She looked at the check and rudely said, "We don't need your money." I kind of snapped and told her bluntly, and not like yelling, but not like in hushed tones either. People nearby apparently definitely overheard her that I was tired of her behavior and if it made her feel better, we could just stop exchanging presents in the future. She started crying and I immediately left. I've been getting my texts from everyone in the family and her best friend about how I ruined the baby shower ever since. Not the idiot. It can be difficult exchanging gifts with family where one party earns more/less, and I've been on both sides, but Sil can't have her cake and eat it. She either accepts graciously, which throwing money in her face does not equal, or goes along with your plan like an adult. Sil is a child who wants to have her cake and eat it too and has deep-seated issues with your comparative earnings. She needs to grow up and go to therapy. Not the idiot. Seems to me like there's some jealousy and resentment going on about how much you and your husband make, and no matter what you do, Sil will be upset. You've tried your best to appease her and clearly what she thought of you and your husband mattered to the both of you very much, but you can't keep walking this weird tightrope just to calm her insecurities. Also, I think now that you've said your bit openly, it might help your relationship actually. Your Sil is weird. Instead of just being grateful for your generous gifts, she's overcome by jealousy. Sure, the check wasn't the most elegant gift. But what does she want? Expensive gifts are too expensive, cheap gifts too cheap, money is don't need at charity. Maybe it's the hormones and the stress and pressure of it all, and it'll blow over soon. If not, don't take it too personally. You're not an idiot in my books. My son was supposed to have just wrapped up his junior year in university. It turns out, he has been failing and dropping lots of classes. He always told my wife and me that his grades are fine and that his GPA is okay. The only access we had to his school account was to make tuition payments. We even paid for a more expensive school because he really wanted to go there. His sister also went to this school and had a great experience, so we were okay with it. He came home this summer and told us the truth. He had been on academic alert since his first semester for failing a class. However, his GPA was still okay because his other classes pulled up the F over time. he started failing and dropping more classes, and his GPA went down more and more until he hit probation. He was suspended for failing to bring his GPA above a 2.0. Apparently, he appealed the decision and the dean told him he could have one more chance instead of taking an involuntary year off, but he would be dismissed from the school if he failed any more classes. Well, lo and behold, he failed another class and was kicked out. He then had no choice but to come clean to us. We have spent around $28,000 a year, $18,000 tuition plus $10,000 dorm, food, not including the spending money we gave him every month. We spent $84,000 for him to only come out of that school with 34 credits. We did this because both of us graduated college with huge student loan debts and we wanted him to enter his career with no debt. He applied to another school as soon as he found out he was suspended and got accepted. However, I told him I would not be paying any more tuition, and that he would need to take out federal loans, and that we would not be co-signing on any private loans. I eventually relented and came up with an idea. I said he could earn my trust back by going to community college for a semester or two, which we would pay for. If he passed all of his classes, then we could pay for his other university on a semester-by-semester basis, and we would need to see his grades online every term. I also said he would need to go see someone at school to figure out what bad habits or learning issues led him to this point and to help him avoid it from here on out. If he felt like he needed any kind of therapy, we would cover that too. Well, my son absolutely hates the idea of going to community college. My wife thinks I'm an idiot for refusing to just give him a second chance without all of this community college nonsense. I also mentioned to my wife that college isn't for everyone, and if this doesn't work out, maybe he needs to look into a trade. She wouldn't hear that either. Am I an idiot for not handing out second chances without shackles? I feel like just going to another university won't just magically fix the issues that landed him in this mess, to begin with. Not the idiot. It's totally reasonable to not want to pay tens of thousands of dollars when you can't trust it's being put to good use. And he still has the option to take out loans if he wants to go to his school of choice now. A few semesters of community college would probably be great for him. To be honest, he sounds a bit spoiled, and it would be good for him to be in school with a bunch of people who studying at school while also working full time, not just going to school with their parents' money and screwing around. Not the idiot, you paying for his college isn't a right, it is a gift. The community college idea is great as it will help show he can actually deal with college before going somewhere expensive again. The trade thing is also a good idea. Many trades earn great money nowadays. It's not like absconding from university is going to ruin his chances of having a nice life. Not the idiot. Your approach is super reasonable. I want to commend you on paying for your son's university schooling at all. I got through on scholarships and work. And the fact that you are aware that college isn't for everyone and are willing to support him in alternate paths says to me you are doing the right thing.